Alright, hello everyone. I'm NME, and this is the Spartan X2 tutorial for the NEScathlon coming up Saturday, August the 4th. We're trying to bring you all of the tutorials for all of the games that are in the race. So we are here today to talk about the sequel to Kung Fu, came out only in Japan, and this is the end. This is the final screen. But you'll be, if you're playing in the NEScathlon, you will have already switched over to RoboCop by this point, so you'll never see this screen, at least not in the race. So what we'll do is we're going to kind of take this in three parts. The very first part is going to be very quick, just show you kind of some of the different moves we're dealing with. Then we're going to do a run through of the game. I'll talk about some of the things that you need to focus on during that run through. Just that way, if you just want to take a look at what the run looks like and mimic that, you can do that. You don't have to watch the full tutorial. Then we'll go stage by stage, and I'll try to discuss some of the nuance and the finer points that you may want to focus on. First thing we want to do is make sure that we select normal mode. There's an easy mode and normal mode. Normal mode is the higher difficulty. I wouldn't really say it's much more difficult, but the bosses behave somewhat differently. So this is what I'm used to playing, and this is what you guys will be getting used to playing. So real quick, let's fire this up. And you want to mash start during transitions to skip them. So real quick, just show you some of the different moves we have. We're going to be using jump kicks quite a bit. And you see right there, when I do a jump kick, I get knocked back a little bit. So we're going to try our best to do jump kicks where we land just like right as we're about to hit the ground is when we want to kick our enemies, because that way we don't get knocked back as much. So that's one of the main goals. We also have, so the jump kick is an indispensable tool we have. We also have, let's see if we can get a couple enemies here. We're going to do spin punches. And you see as I do a jumping punch there, and I can kind of knock enemies away from me. That's a tool we'll use throughout the entire run to kind of crowd control. We also have the uppercut, that's not that button. You see I start to blink. That means I'm charged up, and that means I can throw an uppercut. The uppercut is the second most powerful attack in the game. The most powerful is a jumping uppercut, which is a little bit less reliable. There it was. We're going to run out of time here. But those are our main tools of the trade. You can mess around with the jumping uppercut if you want. I find that it requires a little bit more precision in the gauging the distance with enemies. It's a little bit less reliable of a technique than a standard uppercut. So I just stick with the standard uppercut. But those are our main tools of the trade. There's a couple other that we're going to be using throughout, but jump kicks, spinning punches, and uppercuts. That's going to be our main tools for this run. So let's go ahead and reset, and we'll go through a run here. And I think a good time for everyone is under 8 minutes. If you're really operating at a high level, you'll be getting under 7 minutes. I foresee several people getting under that time. Not necessarily in the race itself, because there is some randomness to this game, but I think we're going to be seeing some people putting their PBs in the sub 7 area before all is said and done with this. But under 8 minutes, you're in pretty good shape. You can still get that time if you take a death, depending on how late it is in the stage. When you die, typically you go back to the beginning of the stage. There's a couple of exceptions to that. But yeah, here we go. We're good. Let's do a run through. Make sure my splits are all looking good. And we're good to go. If anyone has any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to keep up with chat. And yeah, away we go. So yeah, we're just going to mash through that. A couple cut scenes there. You can't skip those scenes with the text. So right here, we're going to jump. And you see I'm basically continuing my moving forward there. Spinning punches, they grab you. That happens sometimes. No big deal. Just shake them off as best you can. You want to get into this pit in above the 240 time. Right here, we're going to jump at this spot. We'll cover this a little bit more later. Jump over the charger and do a spin punch there. We're going to jump at this spot here and hit this purple guy. The purple and blue guys can drop health. And here's our first boss. We're going to do 2 jump kicks and 2 uppercuts. And that's just that easy. There goes the boss. Stage 1 down. Okay. And then we're mashing start this whole time. Just mash and start until you get to this screen, then you can let go of start. So now, I should point out this is an up to jump game. So I am pressing up this entire time because we got a conveyor belt that is pushing us backwards. We want to avoid that. We can use this box to boost us forward. A couple spinning punches here. Clear out the riffraff. Now we're going to have these guys coming down on ropes. And if you're very savvy, you can punch in such a way that you will go like right underneath of them, just skate right underneath of them. But that's a little tricky to time out. So what you can do as kind of an easier method is use the guys that come from behind you to boost you forward. And if there's 2 that cross up, you can punch them both. Okay, we got a good pattern here, which means we can do 2 uppercuts and then 4 jump kicks, and we get the 2 cycle. If we got a bad pattern, his first attack would have encased us and would have frozen us in place, and then we would just have to kind of rely on jump kicks there. But we got the great pattern, 2 uppercuts, 4 jump kicks, and the fight is over. Stage 3 here, we are on a tanker ship, and we're just going to be using a lot of standing punches on this one. As these enemies fall, no problem. The guys on the hoverboards are really no concern unless we get stopped. See right there, we got a little close to him. We're gonna try to get boosted over this thing. We see if we can't despawn the second crate. You can despawn the second crate if you are moving quickly enough over top of the first crate, but it's kind of finicky with the enemy spawns and everything. We're gonna duck under the bazooka man. He did not drop health, but our health is in pretty good shape. So here we are, we're at Bluto. We're gonna do 1 jump kick to start. He's gonna try to throw boxes, but look how far away we can be and still throw uppercuts. That's now my timing's a little off. Okay, so I went, it's a little off from what we want. I forgot to split, that's all right. Actually, that's a little bit of a late point for split. Okay, there we go. All right, so again, we're mash and start. We'll go back over that fight because that got a little sloppy there. But the main takeaway you want to have from watching that fight right there is that you can stand quite a bit of a distance away and still land with the uppercut. Not quite as far as I'd like to get right there, but in general, you stand pretty far away. If your health is bad, you do not want to do these jumps into the rocket men. You want to duck underneath of them. Our health is just barely where I think it's acceptable to do this. But you almost never want to turn left. Again, if there's a health consideration, you do want to turn left. Aside from that, you don't. Now, these hatches can have gorillas spawn out of them, and there they are. We got a health drop, so we're in great shape. We're not going to turn and attack these clubbing enemies. That's not the strat. What we're going to do is we're going to jump when they get close, and they're going to either boost us forward or we're going to escape their grasp entirely. So now we have a double boss feature here. I'm going to show you kind of the more reliable way of doing this. We're going to do a jump kick. Ooh, and I somehow got to his right. I don't know what happened. Okay, we're going to wait for him to charge. Give him a little bop with our uppercut. We're hitting him. He's going away. There we go. All right, so get to the left of the key here, the keyhole here, because Simon Belmont here likes to run around if you get too close to him. So you see I'm jumping when he, after 3 attacks. Every 3rd attack, he goes into an invulnerable state for 3 of his own attacks, which he will strike downwards. He can strike level or strike down. But after you hit him 3 times, he will always strike down 3 times, and you cannot attack him during that phase. So you will want to be very careful to not take damage there. I choose to do it where I get nice and up close to him. Some people prefer to back off, whichever is preferable for you. So right here, we just kind of talked over a bunch of enemies we've already seen. Chargers, rope guys, standard grippers. No big deal. We got some ninjas hanging out in this water here. We're going to try to jump over their ninja stars. If we don't, not a big deal. It only does 1 damage and it boosts us forward, so not too bad of a consolation prize. Now you see I'm being a little careful here, not being quite as cavalier with our jumping punches, because I know that we're coming up to the boss here, and I know my health is a little low. Now we got a health drop, that's nice. This is Naifu, this is the worst fight in the game. We're going to try to charge up an uppercut, and as you see right there, she just denied it. She didn't block it, which she does have a block animation. Sometimes she just doesn't take damage, which is a theme throughout bosses in this game. But as you see, she will throw 2 knives, and she will, if you stand close to her, she'll run up and charge you and do buku damage. So you basically just want to be jump kicking her in the face or standing and kicking her as much as you can, and that will keep her at bay. I made it look easier than it is, but it's something you can definitely get used to. So here we are on the last stage. Got a little bit of an auto-scroller to start. We got these guys falling from the sky, and we got these smashers here. We're going to do one technique we only use once in the game, and that's a throw. That's the one time we use the throw in the entire run. Now we can uppercut this guy into the next guy, and that's it for him. And we have one more pair that we can uppercut into each other. This guy's going to come up, and he's going to go down, and our next friend's gone. And you want to stand with your back foot right on this line and then crouch. And as soon as you see the 3rd green guy fall, you're going to throw that uppercut. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to move to the right. And because otherwise these guys will just destroy you. They will lock you up, and or they'll just knock you off of the platform. So the timing is actually pretty tight there, relative to everything else in the game. Okay, we get up onto the hook at a 102. This is auto scroller. I have no control here, but we have to get to the point where we hit the trigger for that. We got a bad pattern here. It's a pretty standard pattern. And as you can see, we can jump over these charges. We can even jump over them when they come from behind. Timing's a little bit tighter that way, but we'll give it a shot. Well, we're not going to be able to because we had the punk rocker right in front of us, but we did get a health refill. So all in all, pretty good section. Now we're coming up to the final boss. Very particular spots we want to stand, assuming we get a good pattern. So we come right here, charge that up. We come right here, duck, charge that up. We're going to do a jump kick. You see it does no damage. Every third attack does no damage to Shisun. And then there we are, done. 4 uppercuts, and that's it for the fight. Now, he can give you a couple different patterns. If he does a jump kick at first, your uppercut's not going to land. If he does a spinning kick, your uppercut's most likely not going to land. But if he does that pattern, which is his primary pattern, which is the good news, if he does that pattern, you just follow exactly what I did. You go to where I stand, you crouch, you do your uppercuts, 4 uppercuts, and you're done. You throw in a jump kick there to keep things moving, but that's the fight. Very simple. So that is Spartan X2. That's a run through of Spartan X2. You see, we got a 709. Had a little bit of a sloppy fight with Harambe, so we'll focus on that when we go through the stages. There's a couple different ways to tackle that fight, and if you don't have some precision timing on it, the gorilla can get away from you. And that can be a little bit scary. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But that's it. That's the entire game. Very quick run. Okay, so that's it. That's the that is the end. So we're gonna go back through now, and we'll take these splits off. Again, normal mode. So let's see what I can do. Now I should point out I am playing on the power pack to kind of show you guys that it is possible to play on the power pack. But right here, so you see these hatches on top of the subway car that we're on. The second hatch that you see here, the one that's right in front of our protagonist here, when we get to the right side of that's going to be our jumping point. That's going to jump us right into the first enemy. If we do a jumpy kick there, we'll be able to completely limit the knockback that we'll be facing. And then the next hatch after that, we're going to jump from the back of that one, from the left side of it. And if we do that, those 2 jumping kicks in that fashion, then we won't get knocked back while we do that. And then we're going to start with our jumping spinning punches. That's going to be the method of dealing with this opening section of the game. So there you go. Very little knockback right there. So now we see some spinning punches. Those guys are a little bit out of position for what I'd like, so we do an extra jump kick there. We do a jump kick right there. Now you see my time is a little slower there. We stopped and kind of went over some stuff. If you're very fast, you can get in there. If you're very fast, you can get a 247. I think that's the Taz time. But 245, 246 is a great time to get to the trigger point for this pit. We're getting there at a 238 right now. Not too shabby, but anything above 240 is really what you want to go for. All right, so coming up here. So let's take a look at the inside of the subway here real quick, because we got some nice visual cues that we can use to maximize our movement and our attacking here, where we don't suffer any knockback. So let's talk about that, because we have here the little handholds that you might see on a subway, the things where if you're standing up, you can hold on to that. Those are the little triangular things that they sort of look like coat hangers, and then you have the bar they're hanging on. So our 2 main focal points for our visual cues are the leftmost handhold, so the leftmost triangular doodad, and then the corner, the edge, the left edge of the bar from which they're hanging. So for this first purple guy who's sitting down, he's very conspicuous. He's sitting down and purple. That's how you know he's an actual bad guy we have to kill. We're going to jump from this far left handhold, the far left triangle. Once we hit that point, we're going to do a jump kick. And if we time it just right, if we jump exactly that point, we're going to hit the purple guy every time. 1 jump kick, that'll put him down. So let's try that. Look at that. Easy. Then we're going to jump over this charger and do a spinning punch. No problem. But then we're coming up to a next one. So you see, if you look a little bit ahead, past the door, there's another left edge there. We're not going to look at the handhold here, but we're going to look at the left edge of the pole that the handhold's hanging from. That's going to be our jumping point here. So you'll see where I jump from. We got another purple guy. We jump just a little further back that time, and then we trigger the boss. Now for the boss, pause right here real quick. This boss, I think his name is actually Flamey Joe. I think he's like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. Some people call him Gene Simmons, but Gene Simmons isn't blonde. So what we're going to do here, this boss is super easy. All you have to do, when you start the boss fight, run in and do 2 jump kicks. You're going to do a jump kick from distance, and then you're going to do one up close. And then after your second jump kick, you're just going to hold down, wait till you see yourself charge up, throw the uppercut, keep holding down, wait till you see yourself charge up, and throw another uppercut. And that's the end of the fight. What happens if you try to charge your uppercut when you're too close to this boss is he'll do a little low kick, and that'll sour your day a little bit. But if you do 2 jump kicks, the second jump kick will push him back far enough that your uppercut will still be able to reach him, but he won't be able to kick you. So that's the goal here. So jump kick, uppercut, uppercut. Easy every time. That's stage 1. That is everything you need to know in stage 1. So again, we're mashing start. Once we get to the score screen, we're mashing start because you want to skip the score screen as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it'll fade out more slowly. So you're mashing start once the score is rolling down, and then you're mashing start until you hear the da na na da na 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 na. Like once you get to that screen, you can't skip it. So you can stop mashing start there. All right, here once again. This stage, I do a little bit more freestyle with. I don't have quite as precision strats as on stage 1. But, you know, again, we get to the conveyor belt and we're just tapping up. You want to make sure you don't walk into the boxes or jump into the boxes because they will knock you back pretty significantly. But you can use this box as a little boost forward. That's nice. Again, a spinny punch here. And now let's see what we can do with these purple guys. Show off a couple different things, maybe. Okay, this guy can boost us forward, so that's nice. And these guys cross up, which is great because you can get boosted forward and kill both of them with 1 punch. So we got our gunman. He drops health. He only doesn't drop health every time. He can drop health or he cannot drop health. But the blue guys and the purple guys throughout the game, they're the ones that can drop health. So, you know, if your health's a little bit of an issue, those are the guys you're looking for. The knife guys have knives, so they won't shoot you. But there's another purple guy that has a bazooka that can shoot you. And then you got the blue guys here with pistols that can shoot you. So typically what I do is I duck under their shot, wait for them to shoot, and then I do a jump kick into them. And that'll put them down with 1 jump kick. So we're coming up to the boss here. There is 2 ways to approach this boss. We'll see which pattern we get here, and maybe we'll take a death at the end of the fight and try to show you back through the other pattern. I have no way of guaranteeing that we'll see both patterns, but you saw the first pattern, so hopefully we'll get the second pattern here in this time, and then we can move on to stage 3. But there is 2 patterns. You always want to run right up to the boss, right up next to him. He won't do any close attacks. All he does is throw projectiles. So you want to run right up next to him. If you get a good pattern, the first projectile will just sail over your head, and that's wonderful. If you get a bad pattern, the projectile will lock you in place, and that sucks. But we have strats for dealing with both. So here we go. Coming up to the boss. Bring it right up close, and he gives me the bad pattern. Great, so now you get to see both. So yeah, you see, we just mash to get out of it, and now we're just doing jump kicks. Now we don't know which side he's going to spawn on. Typically, if you leave no room for him, he will spawn on the other side, but not always. And there you see, that was 3 cycles instead of a quick 2 cycle. So not too shabby. So that if you get the bad pattern, just do jump kicks. It'll be really easy, and you'll kick anything that he throws at you back at him, which will prevent you from taking any extra damage. So here we're on stage 3. We're just using standing punches. When things come towards us, we punch. We do not care about the guys on the hovercrafts that are behind us, because unless we're stopped, they won't attack. They won't do damage to us. But we do care about the guys on the ground that walk from behind us, because they can grab us and they can hold us at bay for the hovercraft guys. So that's what you gotta be careful for. You see a guy on the ground just creeping up on the left side of the screen there. He's gonna be of some concern to us. Not concern, but he's gonna be someone we're gonna pay attention to. So what we can do here with this crate is if we manage, so you want to do 2 jump kicks to it. That's the quickest way to get rid of it. But if we manage to walk over top of it or kind of jump over it while it's falling, then we can despawn the next crate that should spawn. And if we can do that, that saves us a couple seconds, because that way you don't have to knock it down when you get there. There is a Taz strat where you can get boosted up onto one of the hovercrafts and just avoid the crates, which is really cool. I've never figured out a way to do it RTA, but I've also never done any save stating for this game. So maybe that'll come out in the practice for this game. That would be really neat to see if it became RTA viable. But yeah, basically just do 2 jump kicks, and then say we just got gripped on the kick there, so there's really nothing we could do. We could not avoid despawning that crate. It's really a luck of the draw with your enemy spawns, whether or not you can be in a position to despawn the second crate. So don't think you're doing anything wrong if you don't get it. Sometimes it just works out where once you do the second kick, you get boosted back into an enemy that grips you, and that'll hold you into place just long enough to avoid the despawn. So here you go. We got. We can kill these guys now because we're waiting for this Bazooka Joe, and now he's gone. Again, we're using jump kicks when we're dealing with our purple and blue friends. That'll put him down with 1 jump kick. All right, we're coming up to this boss. So now we're at the point. So we actually saw this a little bit with the stage 2 boss, where after a couple of attacks, he'll teleport away. And that's something that the game builds off of, but in a less obvious way. Because when a guy teleports away, it's very clear that you can't attack him. But what they're going to start doing now is have enemies attack back at you after certain intervals. And when they attack you in specific ways, they're invulnerable, which means you can't do damage to them. You could try, it won't work, and you'll probably end up taking a lot of damage as a result. So for this guy, who I call Bluto, but I think his official name is Billy Bailey, the deal is, after 3 attacks, he will do a little low shin kick. As long as you're not too close to him, it's of no concern at all. But if you're doing uppercuts, you might find yourself getting a little too close too soon. So you got to watch out for that. So what we're going to do, we're going to do 1 jump kick to start and then 2 uppercuts. And we can, because our uppercut has such long distance on it, we can kind of creep towards him a little bit, but find the distance away from his leg where we can line up safely, start charging our uppercut, and then blast him as soon as he becomes attackable again. So we're going to do those 3 attacks, jumping kick, uppercut, uppercut, and then he's going to do his low kick. Then we're going to do an uppercut and a straight punch, just a straight standing punch, and that's it. So it's 5 attacks for the entire fight. Now, we have to watch out, too, because he's going to throw boxes at us. If you let him hit you with the boxes, your health's going to go down, and it's going to go down fast. So you just have to be on your timing with your attacks. If you're feeling uncomfortable, what you can do as an alternate is do a jump kick in and then bail out, and do a jump kick in and bail out, but that's way slower. And this is a speed run, for goodness sake, so we're going to show you the fast way to do it. So watch this, and you'll see the point at which he does his low kick, and you're going to see I'm just setting up for an uppercut at that point. I can't attack him, I'm just biding my time. So here we go. Jump kick to start, uppercut, 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 punch. Just that easy. And you see, I'm plenty far away from his foot. His foot's not going to hit me, but I'm still in that range where I can do those uppercuts, no problem. And that's the fight. Very, very simple. You have to get a feeling for the distance that you can gauge, so you're not getting too close to him, you're not staying too far away. If you stay too far away, he'll throw boxes at you all day, and you'll be in rough shape. If you get too close, he'll kick you, and that'll be bad for you. So once you find your distance, easy time. All right, so for this stage, the general rule of thumb is all standing kicks. Really don't want to jump in most cases. We can do a turnaround punch there. We can do a spinning punch there too. Okay, we're going to jump. Do a jumping punch there. Jumping punch if the guys come at you from behind. That's an acceptable alternative. But you want to try to not take too much damage from the rocket pack guys. The rocket pack guys do a lot of damage when they hit you. I had plenty of health for that stage, so I was being a little bit more tanky. But if you notice your health is low, you want to take the time and attack those guys. Because the deal is, when you're on top of the plane, on the first section of this stage, the wind is pushing you back the entire time. Thank you for the subscription, Mecha Dangerous. So, with the wind pushing you back, with the rocket pack enemies that can do quite a bit of damage, your main focus should be moving forward and not moving backwards. There are times where you're going to want to turn around, and that's okay. You know, if it's a matter of preservation of your health, then that's completely reasonable. That's totally fine. But otherwise, just try to keep moving forward. Try not to turn to the left as much as you can. But if you feel you have to, that's okay. But try to be moving to the right at all times. Okay, so now we're at the second half. If we do die on this screen, we start here. We don't start at the beginning of the stage. So that's one exception to that rule. So we have a couple things at play here. We have the clubbing ladies. There's another lady who can run on like a zip line type thing, who's in yellow, and she'll do a lot of damage to you if she hits you. But she only comes up if you're slow. So you might see her if you have low health and you're trying to play it safe and farm some health. That's bad. If you die, if you find yourself at low health at the start of this area, it might not be the worst idea to take a safety death, because you don't want to get, God forbid you get to the boss with like 2 health and then you immediately eat it, because then you have to do this whole section again, and that's going to be a pretty nasty time loss. So something to consider. But basically what we're doing here, we're going to, all the pink ladies that come from our left, we're going to let them either club us or whip on us, because we're going to do jumps the entire time. They're going to start from the front, no big deal. They'll start coming from behind. And you see we got these hatches here. Any one of these hatches, it's random. Sometimes none of them, sometimes more than 1 or 2 of them. Any of these hatches can have the gorilla spawn underneath of them. So you want to be doing jump kicks when they come up, because if you do a jump kick into the gorilla, he'll sometimes drop health. He didn't that time, but that's how you won't drop health if you don't do that. There's our yellow lady, and you see how much damage she did. Not good. So she rides along that hook there, and you see, so look how much damage we took there. That is unfortunate, right? So let's try to pause this real quick. Okay, there's a couple different ways you can do this fight. What I think is the easiest way is to, again, we have very nice visual cues with our jail bars here for these cages. What I do is when I get to, I want to say the first bar, maybe between the left edge of the rightmost crate and the first bar from the left, that's where I do a jump kick. And then you'll land in such a way you're right in front of Harambe, and you just do standing jump kicks until he jumps away. And then at that point, we're going to follow him, and we'll do some uppercuts. But for right now, let's just focus on the jump kicks. So I actually missed with my jump kick, but you see, I'm going to follow him to right here. This is the second bar. I could probably get one more closer, but what we're doing is we're waiting for him to start charging at us. And you have to, your timing's got to be pretty tight here. Once he starts to move, you got to be throwing that uppercut. If you wait for him to get right up on you, he'll grab you and do a lot of damage to you. And with our health being what it is, we don't have a lot of health to work with. So there you go. We bop him one, and we bop him another one, and he grabs us anyway. So that's scary. So now he's going to go back over this way, and we're going to try to bop him as he goes. See, if you uppercut too early, he runs away. That's what you got to be careful for. Okay, so you see I jump to the left here. I'm to the left of the keyhole on the left box as soon as I get rid of the gorilla. That's because if you're on the right side, if you're on the right half of the screen, Simon Belmont up here, the guy with the whip, he's going to run around at the top and delay you. He's going to run to the left side. He's going to, or if you're in the middle, he'll just keep running back and forth for a while. It stinks. You don't want to deal with that. So if you're on the left side here, if you're left of center, then he'll just drop straight down. And that's what you want. If he drops straight down, then you can start attacking him sooner. Once again with this guy, after 3 successful attacks, he will do 3 attacks that are during which he's invulnerable, so you can't attack him. His attacks will always strike at the ground, and he will shoot out an electrical charge. Now, my health is in rough shape here. He can kill me in like 2 hits right now. So that's something you're going to have to be cautious with. But he's going to drop down, and we're going to do a jump kick into him. And with my health being what it is, I think probably the best course would be to do jump kicks. What I like to do is do 1 jump kick to get close to him, do some damage, and then because I'm close to him at that point, I start doing uppercuts. So I do jump kick, uppercut, uppercut, and then I jump. I do 3 jumps while he strikes down, each of his 3 electrical strikes to the ground. 1, 2, 3, and I'm jumping over all of them. Because you can stand close to him, it doesn't do contact damage, it only does damage if you touch the electricity he shoots on the ground. He will do contact damage with you with his whip if he does a normal attack forward, so be advised about that. But when he's in his invulnerable state, he only attacks down, and only electricity can hurt you. So let's see what happens here. This could get a little nasty, but, you know, that's part of the game. Oh, and I moved forward too fast, so see, now he's running around. So we show that off. See, now he goes back to his side, and we're just going to back away here. Very safe strat doing it this way. A little bit slower, because you can easily 2-cycle him if you know what you're doing, but that's a 2 2/3 cycle right there. And I take no damage, very safe. So if your health is low, that's probably the way you want to do it, because you're really only losing a couple of seconds in that case. So here we are on stage 4. We're going to do a jump kick straight away. One jump kick will knock down this door. Later doors, the final door in the stage takes a jump kick and a standing kick. Or 2 jump kicks, whatever you prefer. I don't know why one door is stronger than the other. But this one jump kick, and you're out. So if you dawdle in this section, if you find yourself getting gripped on by these guys, stopping for too long, you will get an extra charger enemy. It doesn't really matter that he spawns, but that's your indication that you spent a little bit too long in this section. So right here, yeah, he gripped us pretty good there. So our health is a little dicey. We got our ninjas coming up. Again, we have the ninja stars. Just jump over them. If they boost you, that's okay too. They only do 1 health of damage. So now we're going to be very careful, because we know we're coming up on a potential health drop and the boss. So we're going to have that fall. The chandelier will do damage to you. And we get health. We were very lucky. So now we're coming up to Naifu. And you see, she's already throwing knives. So what we're going to do, we want to get to, if you look at these doors, you got the outer rectangle, and then you got an inner rectangle that make up the main part of the doors. So if you look at the right side of the inner rectangle of the right door, that's where we kind of want to try to line up as soon as we gain control and do an uppercut. Now, 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100, she will either not charge you the way you want, or she'll charge you and do damage to you, or she just won't take damage from the uppercut. But that other time, if you get a hit on her with the uppercut, you're way ahead of the game. Like, that's a huge advantage that you have. So we're a little bit far back here, and she's going to jump over our head as a result. So that's why we want to line up where we want to line up. But pausing it kind of throws my timing off. So you see now, we're kind of playing catch-up. I really don't recommend trying to do uppercuts in the bulk of the fight. I really only recommend doing them at the start of the fight. You can try, but most often, if you set up for an uppercut and you're in a bad position, and almost anywhere is a bad position, she'll just start throwing low knives at you, and you'll take a lot of damage very quickly. So what we do is basically we just do jump kicks to follow her. When we pin her in the corner, we start doing standing kicks. But other than that, you see she can block there. She can also just not take damage without blocking. But there we go. We just follow her, jump kick her down, and that's kind of the safest, most reliable way of dealing with Naifu. She is, she's a chore. She's definitely the nastiest boss when you play this game casually. And that brings us back to the final stage. So the first thing we deal with in this auto-scroller is we have the falling green guys, and they give you a nice slow cadence, kind of lull you into a false sense of confidence for what's to come later on the stage. Because so you see, here's the first one, and look at all this time we have in between them. We have like a day and a half. We can go make a sandwich, get a drink, no big deal. So then we walk into the smashers. I like to throw this guy. You absolutely don't need to throw him, but I like to save the next 2 chargers that we see to do with these uppercuts here. So I like to get rid of him to the left side, which is why we use the throw. If we knock him off on the right side, then we're going to have one guy left. This guy will be left at the end. He'll come up this rope, and you'll still have to deal with him. And you can throw that guy if you want, or deal with him however you want. But that's just my personal preference. I throw the first guy, and then I do uppercuts to the next 2 guys that actually make it up the ropes. And they clear out the other 2 guys who are coming up the rope. So after you do that second uppercut to knock off this last rope guy, who we will never see, we want to line our back foot up. You see, I pretty much have it here. I'm going to line my back foot up with the right side of this center white piece of the moving platform. That's going to be our kind of indicator. We're going to start charging our uppercut here. We're going to come up to more of those falling green guys. And it's very important that you have proper timing for this. If you don't, you will either get knocked off the platform or they'll just come up on you and damage you down so quickly it'll make your head spin. So if we stand at this proper spot, you can be a couple pixels left or right of it. It's not an exact spot, but that's an easy visual cue, that line on the right side of the white section there. You start charging your uppercut, and very quickly you're going to see, guys, compared to the first group that we saw at the very start of the stage, this group is going to fall much more quickly. So one guy's going to fall, and immediately a second guy's going to fall. And as soon as you see that third guy coming from the top of the screen, that's when you're going to throw your uppercut. Not before that, because if you don't get that third guy, you're not going to have enough time to go to the right side of the platform. So what we're going to do, and this will take a little bit of practice. The timing's a little bit tricky here. We're going to hold down, charge our uppercut, and as soon as you see that third guy start to fall from the sky, we're going to uppercut and then hold right to get to the right side of the platform. Don't walk off the platform, but we're going to walk to the right, then face left, and just do standing kicks. And just kind of make our way over to the left. Just kind of inch to the left. Don't run to the left, but just inch to the left with every successive kick, and then you'll get rid of the rest of the guys. So let's see that in action. That may not make sense as I'm explaining it, but once you see it in action, and you go back and watch the tutorial, try it yourself, it'll make a lot of sense. There we go. 2, 3, and then we walk, and then as you see, I just kind of inch forward, put them all down. 3 kicks there, and then same thing. Same exact thing for this third group. And then we're going to walk back to the right after this last one. And that'll trigger our cutscene where he grabs the hook at a time of 103, which is a very solid time for this auto-scroller, and we jump into the pit. So now, we're in the underwater section, the main thing to note is that you're dealing with tons and tons and tons of slowdown in here. Lots of slowdown all over the place. We have... primarily, we're dealing with chargers. There's also one purple punk at the very end who typically drops health, which is nice to go into the boss fight with full health or increased health. Several different patterns you can get from these chargers. As far as I know, or anyone knows, it's RNG, what you get. So you just have to deal with it. If you get guys that stack you up, you just punch them down. If you get guys that you can jump over, great. If you guys that come at you from behind you, you can jump over them too. The timing's a little bit tighter. We'll try to show that off, depending on the pattern we get. So here we go, we can jump over this guy. We do a kick, and you see I get knocked back a little bit, so it's not perfect. That time I didn't get knocked back as much, so that was better. So we got this guy coming from behind. We'll see what other patterns we get. We might not be able to dodge him, and indeed, oh yeah, we get kicked back over him. That's funny. Oh, the purple guy respawned. How about that? That's rare. So let me try to show this off with this timing. So there you go. You can just jump over him. The basic visual cue that I use is, you see his elbow is pretty far in front of him. When that elbow is about to touch you, not when it's touching you, that's too late at that point, but when it's coming close to you, that's your cue to jump. You can do that while you're moving forward, you can do that while you're standing, not a big deal. Obviously, when you're moving forward, the timing's a little tighter because, you know, you're kind of counteracting what you're trying to do. When you're standing still, it's much easier to jump him. But when you're moving forward, you're following him, so your timing is got to be even better. But you can do it. Just a little practice. So that brings us back to our final boss here. And once again, so we have very, very specific visual spots, which I will try to show off. So, okay, so we just hit the first uppercut. You see the line in the floor? Like again, we have great visual cues that we can use on the floor. This line where my front foot is, we got a line running underneath of it, and then we got a line running diagonally up and to the left. That's our coordinate right there. That spot is where we want to set up for our first uppercut. Now, if he does a jumping kick straight away, he's going to go over your head. So just stay ducking. He won't do damage. If you try to throw the uppercut, you'll end up taking damage. So that's no good. But 9 out of 10 times he'll give you this pattern, and then you're in great shape. So you just walk to this spot, which is a very short walk once you gain control. It's like 1 square, basically. And then you throw the uppercut. So you're in good shape. Again, he has an invulnerability after every 2 hits, but he doesn't do any specific attack during that phase. He just can't be damaged every 3rd attack. So we're going to do 2 uppercuts, and then we're just going to do a jump kick to get through that attack, and then start doing our uppercuts again. 4 uppercuts, and we're done. So we're going to move over here, wait for him to walk forward, jump kick, and you see it does no damage, that jump kick. Oh, we did a little punch by accident. Another little punch, so we're going to do another jump kick here. Oh, he blocked that one. And then one more jump kick. I think that might be the third. No, okay, that was good. That was the second attack. So there you go. So it got a little bit off the rails, as can happen. You know, if you rush your uppercut, you will throw a straight crouching punch, which does very little damage. So you got to be aware of that. So, you know, it's very easy to start rushing stuff because you're in the middle of a speed run. You're at the end, your adrenaline's pumping. So just be aware. Make sure that you have the punch charged. Otherwise, you're going to have to extend the fight a little bit longer. And if your health is low, you could find yourself repeating the fight. So that is the gist. That is the basics of Spartan X2. It's a very simple game to get through. A little bit more fun to get a mastery of. Boss fights in particular are a big part of what you need to get down to have a real quick time at sub 7 time. So if anyone has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we got a couple minutes here before it is time for the Legend of Zelda tutorial. Cantaloupe Me is going to be coming on and giving you a very detailed explanation of how to get through Legend of Zelda at a fast rate of speed, which is a much more demanding run than this. But until then, what I'll do is do some runs. If anyone has some questions, see something that they're not sure about, just let me know, holler in chat, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. So we'll reset, I'll do some runs, and we'll just kind of show you how it all comes together. You know, so you saw it up front, now we'll see it after doing everything. Do we have... Okay. Questions about the run, that is. Alright, so again, we're just going to mash start as soon as we hit start on the normal mode. Do a jump kick there, spinning punch, spinning punch. So you see we're letting them get pretty close to us before we do the spinning punch. And a 245 into the hole, which is a very, very, very good time. You're always happy with a 245. Once again, we're going to get to the little triangle here. Jump kick. Perfect. Spinning punch. And you see sometimes I throw a kick too when I do that spinning punch. It's because I hit A and B. You really don't need to do that, but it's just habit for me. There you go. 492 on the timer is a great time to kill the boss. Anything 491 or above, it's a pretty solid stage. Oh, okay, I did start the timer. Good for me. Alrighty. So again, up the jump game, because it's awesome. Jump over the crates. Just keep on moving. Wait for the crate to hit you. Jump up into it. It'll boost you forward. A little spin. See if I can't do one of the jumps underneath these guys. Nah. It's pretty tricky timing. And we're going to get a 484 to the boss. That's an excellent time. Oh, and we get the bad pattern, because of course we did. So just, again, when you get the bad pattern, just jump kicks, jump kicks, jump kicks. Jump kick. Oh, we got pinned up again. So now, I totally guessed that he was going to spawn on our left side. I just took a shot, because I knew we were losing time. He could have very easily spawned on the right, and then I would have probably missed out on that entire cycle. So that's a little bit of a guessing game when you're in the middle of the stage. But that's like a worst case scenario fight, unless you die. But you shouldn't die on that fight. As long as you know to use jump kicks, you should be in good shape. But if you do get encased by the magic, then just kind of mash your way out of it, like you would a gripper. Ooh, I don't think we quite did it. Nah, it's close though, close. So you see there, you see two jumpy kicks there, gets rid of the box really easily, the crate, I should say. And we get a health pickup, which is completely useless. 283 to the boss is really solid. So here we go once again. Jump kick, uppercut, 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 punch. 264. Pretty good. Anything at that the 260 and up range is solid for this stage. I'm using the in-game timer there. If you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, 264 and whatnot. Again, we're going to use primarily just standing kicks here. Primarily, you might see me vary from that a little bit. Like, for example, we had those guys coming. But our health is in great shape, so I can take some liberties here for speed. Usually, oftentimes you get to this point, and your health is a little bit less than desirable. Now, that was a slow section. You want to get into this hatch at 220 or better, ideally. Sometimes the game just does not give you an ideal pattern, and there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do about it. Wait, see, once again. There we go. There's our health. So now we're in great shape. Usually, when you get a health drop, you never see another gorilla. Maybe all the time, actually. As you see there, I got the health drop, and that's good to go. All right. So let's try to do this an alternate way. Show this off. So if we come up to this first jail cell bar. Ah, we didn't get the third hit. Ah, darn it. Really? There we go. All right. So you can do that a little bit faster than I did it, but that's the general idea. And then this is the faster way of doing this fight. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 5 hits total. 2 2/3 or 1 2/3 cycle. It's a full cycle faster than doing all jump kicks. Oh, oops. All right, missed a couple splits there, huh? Jump kick straight away. And here we're just trying to get through to the next door as quickly as possible. Try not to get gripped. Again, if you see the charger, that means you're a little slow. Not a big deal though. That's just a little thing you can commit to memory, like, okay, next time I can try to get a little faster through there. Wow, the ninjas were pros there. They're like, here's 1 ninja star, we're out. Usually they throw 3. So you see, I go over there, I spawn the chandelier, and then I kind of back off and duck. So that saves a little bit. All right, so we're gonna try to do a good Naifu fight here. A little bit far back. Oh, he got the uppercut! So you see, we're just throwing those kicks. Oh, and she does the dirty deeds. Just jumps away, mid jump kick. That's Naifu for you. And then she just turtles up. Very frustrating fight when you speedrun because she just absorbs so much of your damage. And unlike the other fights where there's like a set pattern, like after 3 hits or after 2 hits, it doesn't work like that with her. She just kind of tanks whatever she wants to tank. So once again, we got the slow pattern guys. This first group, not an issue. Do kind of whatever you want. I jumped by accident there. That's a little scary. Throw this guy. Again, you don't have to throw him, but I prefer to throw him because I like to kill the next 2 groups. Make sure that there's no extra guys so I can set up very nice and easily for the next group of green guys. So we set up right here. And just wait. Just wait for the green guys to start falling. It's raining men. Hallelujah. Oh, geez, see, so that's scary. That's scary time what just happened there. I got boosted to the left there, but I was able to recover, fortunately. So you knock that down, get right into position, and then you just barely have enough time to set up your uppercut there and not get gripped. But we get the 103, and we're away. We're on the hook. And now we're off the hook. So down into the pit we go. Jump. This is a great pattern. This is a lovely pattern we've gotten. You see, I'm not stopping to kill any of them. I jump over that guy. Have to jump and hit him because otherwise he falls on our head. So that's a little bit of a time loss, but that was a lovely, lovely pattern we got right there. Just absolutely fantastic. I take that pattern every day. All right, so we start right there. We come right here. He does a spin kick. 2 uppercuts, jump kick that does no damage. Oh, he's going to do a jump kick. We're a little too far away. Done. That's the time. And there you see. Even with a little slop, 7:02, very easy to come by. That final hit is where you're going to stop time, and you can switch over to RoboCop at that point. Now, you want to be careful, though. My last little bit of advice, you want to be very careful when you switch games that you actually get the last hit. Because, again, every 3rd hit, he's not going to take damage. So you might be like, he's got 1 health left. I'm going to hit him real quick. And then you'll attack him. And then, like, oh, wait, I didn't actually hit him, but I reset by accident. So that would be unfortunate if that happened. But that's it. There you go. That's Spartan X2. Just double check here real quick. I didn't see any actual questions. Much as I love Smitty, I don't think that one necessarily pertains to the speedrun. So it's a pretty basic game. If you can just kind of watch my PB or watch the runs that I did in here and mimic them. I would prefer you watch my PB because the boss fight for the Harambe Belmont split is a lot cleaner in that one. It's a little bit iffy in this one, but that's kind of what you might end up dealing with too. So it showed you a little bit of ways to recover as well. I chase you with turkey legs. I think they're clubs, Smitty. I think they're clubs. They do sort of look like turkey legs. It's a circus plane is what it is. So I think they're, I don't know. I don't remember like clubbing women from the circus, but what do I know? But yeah, that's it. If no one else has any questions, I think I very welcome Angry Wayne Gretzky. If anyone else